Hello, hello. Who heard of Sui? 2 people, 3, 4, 5, 6. Couple. Awesome. If you haven't heard of them, here's a very big logo. So they're a very nice company, also supporting our conference efforts in here. And we now have someone representing them, introducing us to the ideas of modularity on Sui. So please appear upstage and big round of applause.
Good morning. Is this working? Hello? Testing. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jian Lu, and I also go by Healthy in the crypto ecosystem. Today, I'm here to give a talk on why we even want to build on Sui, and what are the advantages of this. So a little bit more context about why I'm even qualified to give this talk. I was the lead DeFi engineer at Miston Labs. I built out a lot of the DeFi ecosystem and helped a lot of the builders onboard to Sui. And then also I helped advance Sui from testnet into mainnet. So a lot of the RPCs and DevX and developer experiences, I was on that team to help build. And in this past year, I have left Sui and moved on into the Sui ecosystem to help build and really take advantage of this blockchain and showcase some features. And this is what I'll talk about today. So Sui is the world's fastest blockchain currently. I know there is a lot of debate about this, but if you go on and actually try any transaction on Sui, they're all sub 1 second. There is native randomness built on, and there is incredibly high throughput. At its peak back in February during the inscription hype, when things were minting on Bitcoin and Sui, we managed to sustain about 20 million transactions over the 2-day period during an inscription hype on Sui as well. So what are programmable transactions? It's basically this idea of dynamic dispatch that can be used when you call a single function, and the result of that function can be used to execute another function. So the biggest example of this is something that Sam has pointed out on Twitter, and Sam, for context, is the CTO of Sui. If you were to book a train ticket on, let's say, from London to Paris, and then you had a flight from Paris to Beijing, and you want to book both of them, but they're on different sites and different applications. In your traditional system, on Web2 base, you have to first book the train ticket and then go and book the plane ticket, but your plane ticket could potentially be sold out already. If you were to build a system like this on Sui, you could have all or nothing transactions, and that's what a programmable transaction block is. Basically, you enforce that the first transaction must succeed before the second transaction can succeed. Now, this is very powerful for things like swaps. For example, if you're trying to do arbitrage. So if you're taking a swap from Sui to USDC to Ethereum, and you only want to do so if the price parameters are correct from every single path, then this is a very powerful tool. But I want to walk through a different type of example. I want to walk through like an application example. Basically, when would you use this? So one of the applications that we've built out is called Double Up, and we work. This is a very simple function for a coin flip. Basically, you have parameters where you can take the a bet coin type, which is a coin object, and then you just flip a coin, roll a number from 0 to 1,000. Based on whether it's heads or tails, you win or lose. So like 0 is heads, and then 1 is tails, and then you just run a number, and we transfer the money back if you win, and we take the money if you lose. So in a programmable, so during this example here, this is actually what a move smart contract looks like on Sui. And in a programmable transaction block, you don't need to alter or change any of the smart contract logic to invoke something like this. So this is an interface that Sui has built out in TypeScript. You can import this library in a TypeScript SDK, and you can invoke smart contract calls directly. This is a little different, pretty similar to Ethereum if you guys are used to developing on Ethereum. There's this type of like ETH.js interface. I would say that the Sui.js interface is basically analogous to that. We build programmable transaction blocks into the SDK directly. So we can call a function from SuiLend, and SuiLend is effectively a lending platform on Sui, basically like an Aave fork. If the team actually comes from Solana, and they were SolLend before, but let's say we want to claim the interest that we get from the SuiLend protocol, we can get this interest coin that's returned, and then we can directly take that interest coin and pass it back into this coin flip game that we had created in the previous slide, and you get 2 transactions at once. And then the next cool thing that we've developed and we wanted to really build and showcase like the Sui tech. The next thing that we've developed is something called Unihouse Protocol, where you have this idea of, hey, we can create games like coin flip, we can create games like blackjack, whatever. But how does that like conform to the ethos of Web3? And we wanted to really decentralize this process. So we created this protocol called Unihouse, which lets any single person be the backer or be the staker and be the actual like house for all of the games that we've created. So this protocol lets you or anyone at the stage right now deposit some Sui into it, and when anyone plays games on like coin flip or blackjack, if they lose money, then everyone that staked the uni house gains money, and if they win money, then the uni house loses money. It's very powerful. There's already an SDK out there for this, so you can both build games on top of it and also stake on top of it. We really wanted to make it a full decentralized experience. So we already have a couple ecosystem partners. A couple of the casinos on Sui are already integrated into this protocol. And we also have integrated into a couple of DeFi platforms, doing something similar to like the SuiLend thing that I talked about. We also have some potential applications here, like you can make decentralized raffles. So Unihouse could be the backing for something like a Rolex watch. They can buy the Rolex watch first, and then anyone can enter. And then an obvious application is something like decentralized lotteries, right? Like you can just have everyone stake a lottery in the beginning, and then you can like see that everything happens is fair and transparent on Sui. And yeah, that is the extent of this talk. Do we have any questions about? I think a lot of this is fairly technical, so I'm happy to answer any questions about possibilities.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah. Thank you for that talk, and looking forward to questions. Oh, there's one. 2. Okay. First him and then you. Good morning.
Thank you for the great talk. Could you elaborate why or how Sui's on-chain randomness is different from other blockchains that also offer this? Thanks.
So sure. Any blockchains that offer on-chain randomness, it's basically the same thing. So Aptos offers on-chain randomness as well. I think you can replicate something similar on the Aptos ecosystem, but Ethereum does not have it. Solana does not have it. On-chain is quite literally, if we go into here, you can pass a random object, which is basically the library itself. So it's similar to like any Java library, you can call math.random directly inside a smart contract. Sui embeds a verifiable delay function inside of their consensus engine. So what happens is when you call randomness, it defers it until the next transaction block or the next form of consensus, and a seed gets generated, and then the randomness gets invoked.
Hi, thanks for the talk. One question I had regarding the next slide, I think. Oh, actually, no, the next one with the ecosystem partners. So in order to become an ecosystem partner, do you need to use the random library, the randomness object?
So yes, but however, we've inherently packaged it all into an SDK to make it easy for anyone to use. So if you wanted to only work on the front end portion of this and invoke our library calls, for example, a couple people have already reached out to build like Telegram bots and Telegram mini games, right? They don't need anything else besides to import the TypeScript library because we handle everything for you.
Got it. No, but one thing I was wondering was, is it all about sort of like games that have some randomness in them? Because I also noticed e-commerce, and I wasn't able to figure out how would you use randomness in e-commerce.
So that idea is something that another team is working on right now. They're working on the idea of maybe pay. So the example here is, let's say an object or a coffee, a very simple thing. A coffee costs like €2, and you can pay €4 to the protocol for a 50% chance of winning the entire coffee for free, or a 50% chance of paying €4 for your coffee. So as long as you offer something that's even odds for e-commerce, you can adjust this by overpaying, or you can maybe even pay like 1% of the coffee for a 1 out of 100 chance. So yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks for the questions. We actually still have some time, so if there's more, raise your hand. Doesn't seem to be the case. What's the best way to reach you during the conference, after the conference?
I think Twitter.
So you're a Twitter guy.
Yeah, healthy dgen is my Twitter name.
Okay, very reasonable. Then thanks for appearing on stage and your very interesting talk and the Q&A. Big round of applause, please. And you get a beer mug, of course.